Hello everyone, welcome to the greatest week in sport in Australia. It is Melbourne Cup week as we count down, at least for racing fans. It's a lot of fun to be had. Russell Barwick's my name. This is At Odds, all thanks to unibet.com.au and all the best markets on the Melbourne Cup Carnival, plus all the other sports online at Unibet. Brian Fletch and Mark War, Shane Heel, the stars of the show, and haven't they been on fire lately in terms of our tips? Brian, you picked the Aussies to demolish New Zealand last week, and it was
easy,
just
wasn't
an 80-minute wait, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were very disappointing. And I noticed that John Johnson has been given the spear this weekend. So
Junior, you thought that Australia would be too good for Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka, the number 3 side, looks like have turned up.
Won by about 150 in a T20 game. Fair win, yeah.
Not a great start to the Australian summer from a crowd perspective. And your thoughts on a game in November to T20 when there's no international cricket across basically January?
So there's 6 T20s, 3 against Sri Lanka, then 3 against Pakistan, then the Test. So it's a bit of an unusual start to the season, but that's just the modern way, Russ. You've got to fit in all these tournaments where you can. And
I've saved the best for last, because those of you who are following His Royal Highness King Shane on his basketball tips, as we all are, have found a new love for the sport.
I love it.
Haven't watched a hell of a lot, but I am just enjoying the way the game gets explained to me across our social media platforms.
Yeah, it's been good so far, but we're not getting ahead of ourselves early in the season.
Only 176 weeks to go, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's been fun.
3,000 games.
Basketball's
He
back.
has been on fire, including tipping, I think 3.5, 4.5 the line during the week, and the margin was what?
32.
5. Yeah,
That's the third one, yeah. I
couple
thought you
of
were talking
them.
about the first.
Let's talk cricket. We were touched on it very briefly. David Warner picked up 100, so happy to be back in Australia and away from the Poms by the sounds.
Yeah, a bit of cheering instead of jeering for Davey Warner in Adelaide. Listen, Sri Lanka were absolutely dreadful in that first game. They would not have beaten a club side, but anyway, you can only play who's up against you. Davey Warner was a bit scratchy early on in that innings, but went on to make 100. So good start for the summer for him. That'll give him a bit of form, even though it's white ball cricket, a bit of confidence. So good for Davey Warner.
Do you expect them to tinker with sides, or are they just going to roll through this 6 games and maybe have 1 or 2 changes here and there?
The T20s, 3 games against Pakistan and Sri Lanka, they'll tinker a little bit. They'll try and get their side right for the World Cup next year. So it's the first time we've really had a chance to pick our full squad from a full squad. So I don't think they'll tinker too much. They might rotate the bowlers, but Pakistan will be a lot stronger than Sri Lanka, who, quite frankly, are very
what
well.
about
do you take the $1.13? I know it's cheap and cheerful odds, but $1.13, wait around and get your money.
I would, but I don't. I mean, it's short, isn't it? $1.13.
Yeah, very short.
Better than bank entrance.
Yeah,
just
Junior, on Steve Smith.
Yep.
So when he's allowed to come back and become captain again after it was 24 months, 12 months ban and 12 months.
Yeah.
Do you see him getting picked as captain? Then what happens to Tim Payne?
I would. I mean, as soon as his band's up, I'd bring him back as captain. Some people don't think that's right, but he's the obvious option once Tim Payne goes. For a start, you've got to have a bloke who's going to be in the team.
Yeah.
And a lot of the other candidates, no certainty to be in the team. So I'm thinking
Is Tim Payne only in there because there's no one else to be captain? Is that why he was in the team?
No, he got picked in the team before Steve Smith got banned. Remember,
Right.
he came in at the start of the English summer there a couple of years ago, but he's a good captain. He's done well.
Right.
But I think Smith's the number 1 choice when it's time.
It's really hot in here, by the way.
Okay,
big time.
Mark War, I still remember one day when we caught up with the races, you blokes, the New South Wales team, all turned up there in the blazers. Remember the striped blue and blue?
Greg
blazers?
Matthews still wears his out to nightclubs. So forth.
He's banned from nightclubs.
Is he?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's his only jacket that he's got left, except if he talks about Vivian Richards or Brian Lara's jacket that he stole once. Let's talk about basketball with the Prince, the King, Shane Heel. What's going wrong with the Warriors?
No, they're terrible. They lost KD.
A week ago you said they'd make the playoffs.
No, well, they're going to be fringe.
No,
but
you did say they'd make the playoffs.
They've lost KD and they don't have Klay Thompson, so they were the 2 superstars. So they're left with Steph and a whole lot of guys that
So you
aren't
just
that great.
jump off until they show some form?
Yeah, you wouldn't be backing them too often. Maybe against some of those weak ones, they'll have a bit of pride, but geez, they're not good.
We have seen some interesting results so far, and there's a bit of value to be found. Celtics 2.14, they take on the Bucks on Thursday, $1.74.
Tough game. I like both these teams. Celtics and the Bucks will be 2 of the top 3 with Philadelphia in the East, I think. flip of the coin. You've got to go with Bucks probably just.
Is there a theory with some of the games where if the line is too close, do you stay out, or do you? Because
I wouldn't bet.
Obviously, you're holding your breath till the last minute or so. We've seen games with teams at 20 in front and lose, Australia.
Yeah.
But is there a theory in your mind about punting on the NBA?
Yeah, there is. I think you want to pick the quality teams. There's certain teams that I just don't like putting in against. Like Miami's a team that I don't bet against in multis because they're so well coached, so disciplined. The Clippers I really like this year. I think the Clippers should be the favourites, and we've had 3 bets on the NBA this year. All 3 have won. 2 have been with the Clippers as well.
So, quick question: why is the line so much higher in the NBA than the NBL?
Because it's an extra 20% longer, so they're 48-minute games in the NBA.
Yeah. Good question, Junior.
Yeah, good question.
So the Clippers take on the Jazz. Jazz at home $1.89. Clippers almost $2. Are you tempted?
Well, I like the Clippers in that game, but the Jazz are a team too that are really disciplined, well coached as well, slow the ball down. So I would back the Clippers in that game, but the Jazz you have to respect as well.
One thing we have been having a lot of fun with is the NBL, particularly Sydney. We even got up with the Breakers during the week, and of course Perth. We're loving the boys from the West. Brisbane take on our friends in Perth this weekend.
Brisbane
on Friday.
Brisbane have beaten the 2 bottom teams, so they're out of form. They've lost 3 in a row. They give up 103 points a game. They're terrible. They need to make a change with their imports. I'll be backing Perth in this one. I don't think it'll be a big margin, but Perth should win.
What about the Melbourne Derby, call it what you will?
Yeah, well, Melbourne have struggled. Melbourne United, the worst start that they've had. I still think that they'll beat South East Melbourne. They'll bounce back. They're still missing their best player in Casey Prather. That's going to be a really good game, but I'd be backing Melbourne.
And then they back it up against the Kings on Monday. Both games in Melbourne.
Well, I think the odds are the wrong way around in that one. So I would have Sydney at $1.80 and Melbourne at $2. So the Sydney Kings are by far the best team in the competition right now, as it is, with form and their ability to be able to play. It might change over time as Melbourne get players back.
Okay, boys, did anyone watch the Rugby World Cup semi-finals? Maybe the
Yes, we did.
Can you believe they're now talking about fining England for standing in a V formation because the prop forward had his foot over the halfway line?
Well, that's the rules. They knew the rules.
He's a prop forward. He can't remember his date.
They know the rules, but it's only 4,000, whatever it was, £4,000. They know the rules.
Does this strike me in the final week? This is a final week of a World Cup final. They have not got any momentum globally. They've got to come up with this rubbish. That strikes me as a sport that's got nothing to talk about. Let's talk about this.
Well, it was because the Pommy guy came out and said we didn't want to be standing there in a line. We wanted to take, we wanted to be stand up to them. I mean, they knew the rule. Just put your foot back half a metre. Like, it was just ridiculous.
I think it's a ridiculous situation. And what is also ridiculous is 32-year-old Sonny Bill Williams getting $9 million to play for the Wolfpack.
Good luck to him.
I agree.
So he'll be the...
It's an Aussie billionaire.
That's the New York team, isn't it?
No, that's Canadian team.
So they've just been... So basically, they've been in the championship, which is below Super League, for 2 years, and then $9 million.
I know what Toronto is, mate. So Newcastle way.
There you go. Surely you go.
$1.44 England. Have as much as you like on it. No. South Africa couldn't score a try. England
didn't have to score a try to win, though.
England had 2 disallowed against the greatest team that we've ever seen, the All Blacks. Should have won by 30. This will be a space job. An
4.5 points too.
Sorry, a what job?
A space job.
Sorry, I thought you said something else. So
it could be 30. I don't know what the line is, but
I've taken them on
355, 13 plus.
England could win 30 plus.
You serious?
Absolutely.
Wow.
South Africa got beat by Japan. They only just got over the line against France. Oh, that was Wales, I beg your pardon. South Africa only just got over the line in one of their games. So, look,
is this part of your Hail Mary later on in the show?
Have to be.
No.
This is slam dunk.
Yes, you slam dunk. You've talked them up. You're going to
I'm not slam dunking. Because every time I've touched rugby, it's no good. Look, plenty to look forward to. All of the odds and the value there online, unibet.com.au. In fact, someone just told me South Africa got beat by Japan in the last Rugby World Cup, so I kind of got that wrong. But moving on. Let's hear from Mark Schwarzer about the latest round in the EPL.
Liverpool overcame a huge test last weekend when they came from behind to defeat Spurs. This week, they have a different challenge. Beat Aston Villa away, a game that very few would think would cause an upset. I'm one of them. So 3 points to Liverpool, again. Manchester United have another opportunity to show that they are progressing under Solskjaer when they travel to Bournemouth, a very tough place to go, and they certainly won't be a pushover. Eddie Howe's teams are always up for taking a big scalp. United could be that next one. Matty Ryan and Aaron Moyes, Brighton are my favourites to go back-to-back wins when they face Norwich, who even at this early stage of the season look to have hit a brick wall. I just can't see them recovering. Out of all the newly promoted teams, Sheffield United are the ones who have impressed me the most. Another good away point last weekend. After a home win against Arsenal, now they come up against Burnley. This will be a very frantic, high-paced, slugging match, which United may just, with their home ground advantage, win. Chelsea have been excellent over the last couple of months, and I expect that to continue this weekend away at Watford. There should be plenty of goals, mostly from Chelsea, of course. Finally, who would have guessed that Leicester City would equal the Premier League highest score record? Poor Southampton, as that record could be eclipsed this weekend when they head to Manchester to play City, in what will be another one-sided affair. Will the record be broken? I wouldn't bet against it.
We have our lucky punt of the week. Not surprisingly, the two men at the top of the ladder, Mark Waugh and Brian Fletcher, both, well, half of you saluted last week because
No, I didn't,
Shane
actually.
Hill and Brian Fletcher saluted last week. Well
Should
done.
tight.
There is the ladder on screen.
Going good, aren't we? Well, I'm going to
Here
catch
we
you,
go.
Junior.
Our little basketball man
Mate.
just flying up the ladder now.
Just bit
Is
by
that
bit.
3 in a row?
Yep, but
That's
I
the
was
first
so
time anyone's
unlucky
done
on
three
the
in
on
a
the
row.
hail
Slam.
too.
Oh, the hail.
Yeah, how many points?
Not as unlucky as
So
me.
it's 2 points.
Tell
on
us
the
how
totals.
unlucky you
Nah,
were,
Junior,
Junior.
you can't.
Well, I had a
Can't
$31
Just
hail.
tell
I've
us-
got
tell us
beaten
how
that far.
And if your auntie
Oh,
had
mate.
testicles, she'd be
Oh,
your
That's
auntie.
close. Not like you.
I was
You got
close.
beaten the length of the straight and said
Only
you're
because
unlucky.
they told me
You
I couldn't have
clown.
each way.
You clown.
That's not about me. It's about you missing.
Anyway, well done, boys.
Thank
What have we
you.
got? You too.
Thanks. So can we have a quick total? Yeah. There we
There's
go.
the total.
18,000.
Who's in front?
Junior.
Junior,
I've got the
Schwarzer.
yellow jersey.
Schwarz is 150 to 1 pop. No good again. You might want to narrow that one
He hasn't had
down.
a win in 8 weeks.
Slam dunks. And the Prince, or the King, you can go first.
Let's go
Prince.
New Zealand -3.5 to beat Cairns. I've got Sydney to beat Adelaide head-to-head, and Brisbane. This is the second game where they play against Illawarra, -4.5.
Junior.
I am going to Rose Hill racing this Saturday. My slam dunk is in the highway race, race 2, number 2, Luna Mia. Should have just about won the Kosciuszko a couple of weeks ago, so it should be winning that race on Saturday.
You would think
Paul
so.
Massara
And
trained.
Brian.
I'm going Rugby World Cup England to win by 1-12. And I'm going in the Rugby League test, Tonga with 19.5 against Australia.
Because they'll get a bit of local support.
I
won't
get local support, and their forwards are as good as our pack. Their halves are a little bit of a worry, but let's see how we go. $4.50.
I'm taking the advice of
setting the odds there.
one Mark Waugh about having a place all up, and I'm going in the
Stop
two
copying.
big races on Saturday at Flemington. I love the run of Soul Patch, Kenny Keys trained horse. I think it can run a hole in the Derby, and Bivouac. It'll be short, but it'll get some
terrible
space.
last week.
It was a horrible watch the
I
other
hated
week.
that.
And Mark Schwartz are going the way of Liverpool over Aston Villa, Man City, Southampton, Chelsea to beat Watford. It's around $2.50
Normally about
before we
$1.30
boost.
pops, isn't he?
Our Hail Mary.
About 8 leagues.
I'll kick it off. Kantala Stakes used to be the old Emirates Mile. 50 stars. It's Epsom form. I've been harping on about this. Tiako
Raving on
show.
about it,
Couple of
yeah.
winners. 50 stars a place. If you want to back it each way, don't let me stop you.
All right. Well, I'm going to double up again on New Zealand -3.5. Got a bit of confidence there. I need to get a bit of value to be able to catch you guys. So I'm going Perth 1-10 against Brisbane, and I'm going Melbourne United 1-10 against Southeast Melbourne. We're going to get about 14, 15 bucks.
Correct.
Wow.
Junior?
Okay, I'm going racing again. I'm going the Derby in Melbourne on Saturday. I
Kieran's
know,
horse?
No, I'm not going Kieran's horse. No, I think Shadow
Oh.
Hero is a moral there.
Oh, beg your pardon.
To win that. So at about $3.40, I think, at the moment. Into Classique Legend in the Golden Eagle to run a place from Barrier 1. I thought he was stiff in the Everest. He's about $2.50 a place. That's about $10 there for that.
Okay.
You made that up.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, I worked
Go.
it out on my-
Okay, I'm going racing as well.
So we've
Thought
got
of that to win
Champagne Cuddles
in the
are bet.
Derby, and Randwick Race 8 Champagne Cuddles. She probably should have won
Is
last
that any
week.
horse you know?
No, it's not. I love
So
those two words.
we've all got the
Profit's
top
coming,
3 in
mate.
the Derby.
Profit's done, man.
Tips this every
Um,
week.
It's
now
twice,
I
Junior.
could go through Mark
Do you like
Schwartz's,
champagne? Do you like
but it
cuddles?
is way, way,
don't
way
like
too
champagne.
long.
My Hail Mary is Everton to beat Tottenham, Augsburg to beat Schalke, Eintracht Frankfurt to beat Bayern Munich, and Union Berlin to beat Hertha Berlin. My match multi this week will be Manchester City to beat Southampton, Chelsea to beat Watford, both by 2.5 goals each. Happy punting, guys.
Before we end the show,
$14.
I know it's on Tuesday, but it's the best race in Australia. Obviously, a bit of controversy going around at the moment, but we're all great race fans, and we all know that racing is going to be all the better for a little bit of self-reflection on a few things and money going back into looking after horses post-racing. But in the Melbourne Cup, who's your little
Vow and declare.
Vow and declare?
I think it's an absolute lottery. I'm going to tip the Caulfield Cup winner. If he runs the trip, I reckon he'll win it. That's the question mark.
Murder Glace.
Glace.
Yeah. And
What's
Shane?
Hayes's?
He's got Constantinople.
That's
the
the
one that was
horse.
unlucky.
That's the one.
Yeah, good horse.
It's
And-
quite a pointless exercise, Russ, actually.
Well,
what
it's
we're
not
doing.
really,
Yeah,
because
it
if we
is.
do get it right, we can come back next week and say, I told you so. That was the
Quick
one.
question to
I
you.
like the one Prince of Iran who won the Geelong Cup. Fastest
Quick question
Geelong
to you,
Cup,
Junior.
25
Yes.
years.
Why are these Japanese horses coming over here and excelling over here?
Well, they're bred to stay, so their breeding lines
Yeah.
are for stayers. They're local racing. They run in big fields and they run fast times. So they don't just sit and canter like in England or here sometimes. So they're bred. They're racing tough races, and they've got the best training facilities. So all that combined.
Do you ever go over there on a fact-finding mission to
I
Japan?
don't, no.
Do you ever go to?
Would you like
I
me
reckon
to?
we
do you ever
should.
go to? Yeah.
You should.
We
Maybe
should.
we could buy a
That'd be
Japanese
good.
What about that racing in Thailand? Is there much going on in there? Because
Thailand.
I'd like to go to a.
And this is where we'll
No.
probably end the show
love
because
us
it's
in
going down a
Bangkok.
path
They do.
we don't like to go. I hope you have a great week. I hope you enjoy whatever happens. Good luck to the teams of the Rugby World Cup final, of course, whatever sport you're following, and follow the King Hammer at the
Pressure's on,
NBA.
King.
See you next week.